Hey, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Mood Room. We're going to be talking about a little bit more political things today with the Trump inauguration right around the corner. I'm your host, Work in Progress. We're going to call it Bigger Than Before because it's funny. And I'm, of course, joined by, and we're going to go with Mr. E.
Yes.
I guess
Yes.
Everclear. Mr. Everclear is going to be joining us as usual. So I guess we just want to talk about Trump and the inauguration and people being upset with him and wanting to disrupt the inauguration. Do you think that's what the direction that people should be going in at this point when it comes to Trump, or do you think they should like, I don't mind peaceful protests if they don't like the guy, but to disrupt and purpose, like I saw a report yesterday that talked about planned attacks at some balls that are happening and the event itself. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think protesting is it's okay. I feel like that was gonna happen regardless. I feel like if Hillary won, it would have been protested as well.
Do you think that it would be on because it's very odd to me that on the liberal side of things, it seems to be more violent now. The liberals are supposed to be more accepting and more, less violent and that sort of thing. But it seems like there's been a turn that on the liberal side of things, there's more violence, more burning down things, more calling for cops to be killed and all that kind of stuff.
I feel like it's more of a they try the peaceful approach and now they're getting agitated. They have to try to use force now.
So you're saying the peaceful approach didn't get them anywhere? So what's the cutoff then? If you're gonna say peaceful protesting didn't get them anywhere, and it's like okay, what do they want exactly? Do they want Trump dead? Because that's what it seems like, the direction that their energies are being pushed towards. I don't know if you have the answer to that, but it's like when you say that, it implies that if they don't get what they want, they have now almost have the right to just take it further.
Well, a lot of you heard about the Women's March?
No, what is that?
It's gonna be happening. They got the gathering in D.C. and before the inauguration, they're gonna march and they're gonna make sure they're gonna show up at the inauguration.
So is the idea there that women are gonna show their solidarity against the idea of a Trump presidency? Is that the purpose of it?
I think the purpose of it is to show Trump that they're not like settling for any of his bullshit. So that's the purpose.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh. That's basically what I was saying.
Well, yeah. They're gonna approach him like, hey, mother. If you try that pussy grabbing shit anytime soon in the White House, you will get
This is the thing about that. Now, and before I even get started, it doesn't mean that it's going to sound like I'm a Trump supporter. Now, I want to say this right from the top. I think it's a sad day in American history when the best that the country can produce is a Trump or Hillary for the presidency. I mean, but the bottom line is at this point, Trump is going to be the president. So it's going to sound like I'm defending him, but it's more so that I have my opinions on both sides, so I'm going to express those on both sides. But it's going to sound like I'm defending him. I know people can't handle that, so let's just get that off right from the top because I'm quite sure there's going to be a lot of people in the comments complaining about fuck these guys, they like Trump, blah 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 blah. Like, no, we just have opinions about things on both sides, and unfortunately, a lot of people on the left can't handle that. So, but it's not going to stop me from expressing my thoughts.
I don't support anyone or the election.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? I don't either, because I'm at a point where I don't trust any of them, and quite frankly, I just don't. I think the process is completely rigged. I think a vote for any predetermined candidate is, any vote for a Republican or Democratic candidate is a vote for a predetermined presidency. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to call yourself believing in any part of the system, the reason why I would go with a Trump over Hillary is because, and again, Trump is not he's not presidential at all. I just want to be clear on that. But if I had to pick of the two, and I know people can't stand the idea because he's all the things that he is, man. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I personally feel that the system needs to be shaken up, based on what I just said about me not trusting it. And when both sides were against Trump, he got no support from the Republican Party at all. And so that kind of told me that, maybe there's a chance that this guy might be the real deal in terms of not being part of this establishment false womb government that we have that doesn't have our best interests in mind. That doesn't mean Trump is a great.
That guy knows how to talk. I'll tell you that.
He
talks on the genius level.
Sadly, you know what? I don't think it's necessarily. It's genius in a sense of in its simplicity. What I mean to say is, and people are going to get mad at me about this too, but I think the general populace has a very sheep mentality.
Yeah.
So, when you have a guy that's just out there being a straight shooter and not following what's been done before in terms of the
presidency.
Well, yeah, he's outlandish. He's just not following. He's doing what he wants to do, so that suggests that he might do the same thing when he's in office. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
he just might. So going back to the thing about the liberals and not getting their way, it's like it leads me to think that he might get assassinated. Because if he's going that far against what's been established and what they want to accomplish, then I don't, I see them not they're gonna go out of their way to impeach this man or assassinate him.
He's on a rope. He's on a tight rope. But I don't think anyone's gonna. I think that's almost impossible to assassinate him.
Impossible.
Now, I think it's almost impossible to assassinate the president nowadays. That's just my opinion. Unless the president.
I think you underestimate the establishment's ability to get what they want. I think any person, especially with the technology we have now, can be assassinated. Like when you talk about, if he goes anywhere, if they want to know about it, they can find out about it. You know what I mean? They can pay somebody off in his bodyguard. In his Secret Service. That's how it's done. So I think if they want to get to him, they can get to him. But the thing is, at this point, I think that if he got assassinated, it will become a situation. Well, first of all, we're going to end up with Mike Pence. And I don't know if people have been paying attention, but
you don't want that guy.
And see that talks about how smart Trump is too, because it's like, okay, you kill me, you get Mike Pence. So
he made sure he got the worst.
So he made sure he got a little bit of protection in that sense. But I think people are so frustrated with, Trump, that the idea of Trump being president, that they may not care, because this idea that people are actually planning attacks. To me, that's insane. Yeah. I don't know if okay, you don't like the man. Wait,
hold on. They did that against Obama too. 2008. I remember reading in the newspaper how gun sales went up it almost tripled when Obama was doing his.
Yeah, but I'm talking about actual planned attacks at the inauguration and at the celebrations before and after. I saw a report, like I said earlier, that there's video of people plotting with acid bomb, putting it into the ventilation systems and shit like that. To me, that's crazy.
A little extreme.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we've gotten to a point where it's like things are just out of control now, and it's sad because this leads to a future of a potential martial law situation if it gets that crazy. You know what I mean? Because this could be a catalyst for a civil war kind of a situation. Let's say somebody assassinates Trump, right?
Yeah.
And then his followers just might bug the fuck out and start, because it's like
you might have some type of new hierarchy going on here.
So, seriously,
someone's going you know what, you crossed the line now. Everyone listen to me. A little version of Adolf going around in New York. Just
a little version of. What are you talking about?
Let's just he starts a little hierarchy. He gets a little following online. He's like, they assassinated the president. Just it only takes one person to talk well, just like a Trump.
Well, this is the thing, right? Also, too. So Trump's about to be president, and he's going to be president. So to me, it's like, okay, the guy, personality-wise, is terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But if that guy now he's not presidential. I'm not trying to gloss over the fact of his past and how he carries himself. I'm not trying to do that. I hate that he's on Twitter. I absolutely hate it. But to me, it's like give the guy a chance. There's a report on Drudge today that talks about how he plans on doing a 10% spending cut, and there's a 20% slash of federal workers. Now, the federal government has gotten so big that it doesn't police itself. It just keeps on growing and growing and growing. So I mean,
to the point where they can do like strikes where they don't even do their job and still get paid.
Yeah, absolutely. They're completely protected. So, I mean, I really feel like, and look at Trump's impact on the mainstream media. Mm-hmm. It's like people are upset that he's calling out certain things, but it's like, at what point are we going to wake up and realize that we have been manipulated? We are in a false womb, a womb in the sense that we have this illusion of protection and control that surrounds us, right? Mm-hmm. And it's false freedom almost. Like, and anybody that says they're free, no, it doesn't matter what we say, all right? So I'm like, okay, go out on your property, right? Grow some marijuana, mm-hmm. and you best believe that, and you resist the police when they come and tell you, take it down or blah blah blah. If you're free, you should be able to grow that stuff on your property because it has health benefits.
It does. Have it
and be okay. But because you're not actually free, well, your ass will get arrested.
now you own your property, but you still pay tax on your property. It's like, what do you don't really own anything. It's the idea of them policing everything.
Yeah. So well, the bottom line when it comes to that, and anybody that would argue this, I think is insane. I hear so. All right. So our money system is run by the Federal Reserve, right?
Yes.
And it's even that the name Federal Reserve, it's not it's not a federal agency, it's private.
Yeah.
So to me, the fact that our government, who's supposed to have our best interests in mind, doesn't police that agency, tells me there's something wrong. They have flat out said that they're above the law. So it's like the system needs a reset or something like that. And it's like, unfortunately, the changes that need to happen.
I feel like the country just built on old laws, and I feel like a rewrite of the Constitution needs to happen because you do know like a lot of the laws today have loopholes, and they have situations where if a specific thing happens, the person's completely free off the charge.
Yeah, here's the thing about that though. I think that's by design. The Constitution is old, but it's been created in a way to benefit the rich. When everybody's up in arms about Trump's taxes, right? From the standpoint of being a patriot, mm-hmm. I understand he should be. If he wants to be president of the United States, that means he is the guy that is supposed to be the most patriotic, right?
Yes.
That's who he's supposed to represent. So
I agree.
He should want to contribute what he can to the government, right?
Yes.
But here's another side to that. And we just talked about it. If the government is not spending the money the way it should be, and it's just wasting money and doing stuff that's not beneficial to the people, why would I, who I consider myself a patriot, keep feeding a system mm-hmm. that is not benefiting the people? If I'm a billionaire, you best believe if my money that I would be paying in taxes is not going where it should be going, mm-hmm. I'm not going to want to pay it. I'm not going to want to pay it.
I agree.
So it's like they want to keep attacking him on the tax thing, when it's like he's already said, if I can get away with not paying any taxes, I would. And I'm not talking about anything illegal. It's within the laws that are there. So if you got a problem with me not paying the taxes, then change the laws. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to do that because it benefits all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it gets really really stupid. But another part of it too is there's this with the taxes. It shows if he's had any influences from outside, from places that might not, like let's say Russia, for instance. Maybe they put some money in his pockets. So that's what the taxes would show, and that's part of it too. You know what I mean? So he should release his taxes. He should do that. But I'm not gonna be offended if it shows that he didn't pay a lot in taxes. That doesn't bother me. Now I will be bothered, like I said, if I see that like in Hillary Clinton's, all these donations and all that, pay for play, and that kind of stuff. So that I understand. But I really think we should be at a point where we should give the man the benefit of the doubt, and try to just support him. And then if he fucks up, he fucks up. If he fucks up, call him on it. Do whatever you got to do. But
I feel like his idea of
people have used the analogy where why would you be? Trump represents the pilot on the plane, right? And we're all on the plane with him, right? So it's like he goes down, if he fucks up, we all are affected by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, why would you not support the pilot?
I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where, holy crap! I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where if when Trump, his idea of running for president is like he's gonna here's the key words, they're gonna lower taxes, and that doesn't really mean anything now because every president who's been running for the last couple years since I've been alive promised to lower taxes.
That's a tactic. That's just a tactic that people just the sheep fall for.
And it's like what Trump's strategy when he becomes president. His plan is to keep U.S. businesses in America, but like I feel like that's going to be like one of those things where it's going to fall on his face because the country's going to go say F you. You know what I mean? And they might actually just pay the extra charge to import into America. I think that's what's going to happen regardless of the fact that he wants to do that. Like, I feel like that's going to happen.
Taking a little turn here. What do you think about Trump repealing Obamacare within the first 100 days?
That's a real thing.
The Affordable Care Act. It's right there on Drudge. It's a real thing. Matt, see, here's okay. So when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, like stuff, right? There were a lot of really good provisions in there, right?
Yeah,
a lot. Like there were some really good things, like pre-existing conditions that can't be denied. There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, there's things they had to cover and all that kind of stuff. The only real problem I had with Obamacare, and this is the thing I think they should just take out, is the mandate. Meaning that if you don't have health insurance, you have to pay a penalty on your taxes. Now, to me, that's something where they're forcing something onto you.
I feel like that's the sacrifice that Obama took just to get that pushed through. Because when
but you can't do that. That's like I'm deciding that this is if you're going to play this game like you have freedom, you can't push things on people. That's what they're using the tax agency to force people into Obama into getting health care. And then we hear this stuff about the premiums going through the roof, and it's like I was nervous about Obamacare when the stocks the next day went through the roof for the insurance companies. Something ain't right there. You know what I mean? It's not that don't sound right. It makes me think they done got in there and put their little, fine print into their 2,000-page fucking shit, and like, why is it fucking, exactly.
Reading the
put in there bullshit legal jargon that is, unnecessary, but necessary for to them to further keep fucking us over,
Yeah.
So it's like, everybody's up in arms about that, and people that have benefited from it, I'm not saying it hasn't benefited people, it has, but I think just, I think they should keep it. I think they should ratify it, take out the mandate, and then, but first of all, in terms of healthcare, I think they should ratify it. I saw a report where a guy had gotten chemotherapy or was getting chemotherapy, and one of his medications was $1,000.
What?
Right? $1,000. So
wait, hold on. But how do they expect you to afford this when you're sick? Like you're already sick. How can
you're not working?
You're not working. You don't have any income. How do they expect you to afford?
Okay,
these
so
bills?
now in the defense of Obamacare, he only ended up paying $3 supposedly because of Obamacare.
$3. Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but my thing is, what they should do if they want to pretend like they really want to do something, regulate. As in, you take your the drip, the saline drip, whatever that is. The cost of that, don't quote me, I don't know exactly, but just to give you an idea, it's like, let's say it takes $8 to make.
Yeah.
They charge like $800 a bag for that shit. Or something crazy. It's ridiculous. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's ridiculous. My point here is that regulate it so they can't do that. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you, like, for instance, if I get a bill like in the mail, right?
Yeah.
I got to pay the full bill. There's no negotiation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The insurance companies, they get a lesser bill. Like if I have insurance, because they get a guaranteed certain amount from insurance companies, they get a lesser fucking bill, which means that the actual cost of what's being provided is less than what they're charging people because they're still making profit from the insurance companies.
And then the insurance companies still take money out of your pocket every month.
Yeah,
while they pay less.
So it's like, it's like another situation where you got big business fucking you over again. And Obamacare, on the surface, it looks like it's beneficial, but look, the premiums have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's like, like I said earlier, if the insurance company's stock is going up after Obamacare is put into law, it's like something's not right. And now you're starting to see the benefit to insurance companies now with the premiums going through the roof. And it's like, that's the stuff that needs to be protected. You know what I mean? What's coming out of the person's pockets.
That's not gonna happen.
I know. So what do you think Martin Luther King would think about what's going on today? A Trump presidency, Black Lives Matter. I'm only bringing that up because Martin Luther King Day was yesterday, so I figured we would just we are black, so we probably should.
What do you mean,
probably.
I'm charcoal.
Oh damn! You just skipped over black and just went to
the darkest. So I feel he would have been. I feel like Martin Luther King would have been on in the in between because what he stood for has nothing to do with hatred, basically, and a lot of what's going on.
Nothing to do with hatred. What do you mean?
Well, nothing to do with like people right now. I feel like a lot of people are like mad at each other, like hatred wise. He'll probably come up with like
hold on 1 second. I just got to make a point. I don't mean to cut you off. I just sometimes if I don't make the point, I'll lose it. Yeah. I think people don't have a appreciation for how they're being manipulated by media and TV and all these kind of things, and so you ask, manipulated in what sense and why, right? So it's like if you're going to go with the idea that there is a establishment that's trying to control us and manipulate us, mm-hmm. The best way to keep us docile is to keep us divided.
Yeah, and
unfortunately, at least it feels like under Obama, we've had the worst case of people fighting amongst themselves in recent history.
It feels like that because
with the cops, the Islam, the Muslim.
I feel like the cops thing's been happening they said it's been happening forever. There's more media coveraging now.
Yeah, and that's exactly my point. So it's like, what's really going on? It's like they're trying to create unrest. What is the ultimate goal with all of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like when people. They need to get past their old hatreds. You know what I mean? People are gonna say it's unrealistic and people can't do that. But I'm just saying what should happen. People need to ignore their skin colors and work together to benefit all of us. Don't get stuck on rich, poor, black, white, Republican, Democrat. All that stuff is all divide and conquer.
Pretty much. If you're forced to register under like a certain party to vote.
Forced to exactly. You should be able to just vote. And that's it.
Yeah, then that's when you know.
As long as
they force you to. That puts you in the mentality. Well, I'm already against this person because I can't vote for the next person if I have the registration.
Yeah, and that's another example of being. I think that's by design. It's just like it's another example of, them maintaining control. It's another divide and conquer type of shit. You know what I mean? And when you look at the amount of people that actually vote, if the people that didn't vote voted for somebody else, mm-hmm. those first party, those Democrat, Republican. Nominees, they would get destroyed. They would not be. So it's like they talk about the popular vote and the electoral college and all that stuff. And I'm of the firm belief that people should just be able to vote and that's it.
Yeah.
Now the college is there to make sure you don't get somebody that's out of their mind, and that's the idea from what I hear anyway.
Yeah.
But then some people would argue, well, why didn't they keep Trump out? You know what I mean?
The college. I feel like there's no. I want to talk about this as well. I think there's no. I feel like each individual person's vote does not matter, and if you vote and say you feel good about you voting, I feel like you're just feeding the sheep as well, because your vote doesn't matter.
Because of the college.
Especially because of the college. If you the last couple of years, popular vote has lost to the college.
Yep.
What's the point of voting if you're not going to if a city with 200 people beat a city with 15 million
people?
I
think
that's ridiculous. Why is their points worth more because they live somewhere else?
Hold on. The electoral college its actual purpose is that each state has a certain amount of people in it, right?
Yeah.
So when you get a state that has a small amount of people, they have less voting power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that means that their influence is lessened.
The college, like that,
the college is meant to equal out each state, and you know what I mean? Because it's like you take a California and a New York.
They should do by region and not state, because you can't have a place where it's easy to manipulate to a place where it's like broader minds. Like for instance, New York City is a broad place. You have like people from all of the countries come to this place, and you have people like let's say DC across by California. It's like nobody's over there. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna say.
What are you talking about? Nobody's over there. What do you mean?
Like there's only the population over there is not as mixed as it is in New York City, like the other side of the country. That's what I'm trying to say.
What does that matter if they're mixed or not?
But I'm saying it's like when you have a demographic of just all white people, for example, right? Mm-hmm. And you have who only see one way of life, basically. Mm-hmm. Do you have a demographic of all kinds of mixed ages and skin tones, and you know what I mean? In New York City, mm-hmm. where people they usually try to see the best side of things. It's gonna be like the president, for instance, Donald Trump. He could go to like DC, say like, hey, blah 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 blah
blah blah blah
blah blah. They're like, oh my god, the best president ever. And then you go to New York, they're like, blah blah blah, and he's like, what the hell is he saying? Why is he not talking English? You know what I mean? You feel
talking English,
speaking English. Fuck you. But you know what I mean. That makes sense, right?
Sorta. But everybody's vote matters regardless of how they feel. It's like it doesn't matter.
Your vote does not matter if you're
gonna play the game like.
If the popular vote loses like 3 years in a row or something like that, I don't know how much it's been losing, but if the popular vote loses every time, what's the point of playing the game?
What do you think about this? Did we finish the thing about Martin Luther King and what you feel about today and the Black Lives Matter and all that? Let's go back to that.
Well, I've always had mixed feelings about Black Lives Matter.
You heard about? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because every time something happens, they try to pioneer under the name, and every time something bad happens, they also try to pioneer under the name. People who are not even in the group. So it's like once you have a title, it's easier to target that title and say, oh look what your Black Lives Matter guys did. You guys beat up a homeless defensive.
I saw something that disgusted me. So there's a woman in California. A homeless woman, apparently homeless, and she had some kind of Trump support sign. She was holding it up, and obviously you're in California. There people aren't gonna like it. Now I have no problem with them yelling at her, and but somebody actually attacked her. Now this disgusted me. So then, and these are young people that attacked her too.
Yeah,
young men, and there was a group of people surrounding the situation. None of them helped that woman at all. They pushed her over. Not one person got in there and just, even if it was just to cover her from being hit or just make her, nobody. It's sickening.
It's that mentality of us against them when we're all supposed to be one.
It's sickening. It was sickening. I'm like, are you kidding me? So Martin Luther King's son met with Trump. I think it was yesterday. Did you hear about that?
Nope.
Yeah, Martin Luther King's son met with Trump, and it's funny because. I commend people that are meeting with Trump.
Yeah.
Because, and people don't appreciate that, one of the reasons why I think he won is because when anybody that had anything positive to say about Trump was demonized.
Yeah.
And so people, they kept their feelings about Trump to themselves and then came out to vote. Mm-hmm. And, so it's like, I commend anybody, because it's like,
my girlfriend
it's like it's that's fine, I don't care. So, the idea there is that they're supposed to not talk to Trump, not support the potential of good things to come out of a Trump presidency. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think these guys are brave because they're going to get attacked hardcore. Steve Harvey, those football players, I forget their names. Mm-hmm. Martin Luther King, son, I don't remember his name, but, I commend them. I think they should all try to work with him. It's like, You talk about Obama and him and his impact on black people specifically. We're talking about Martin Luther King, so we're talking about black people specifically. And it's like he's from Chicago, right? Now, throughout his 8 years, I didn't see any effort to try to better the situation in Chicago. The violence, which is astronomical. It's almost like on the verge of genocide.
It's a war zone in Chicago.
And
the death toll in Chicago alone could beat other cities.
And that's his home city. So it's like, do you care about black people at all? Like, you're the first black president, and you could have started a movement, if anything, of trying to make that situation better, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's like, I think, I don't know if, because I didn't see much about Martin Luther King's son going to see Obama, and even like Farrakhan, people don't like Farrakhan because he's divisive, and I understand that, but he makes some really realistic points and it's like, regardless of, even like David Duke, they talk about David Duke and him endorsing Trump. I've listened to David Duke. David Duke is a smart man. He happens to be a fucking one of the head KKK. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a brain. He's not intelligent. You know what I mean?
So the leader of the kids.
Yes. So
the killing black people.
But my point is that just because they have these other sides to them doesn't mean that they can't offer something.
Yeah.
But David Duke, that may be a bad example because you just don't want to have that guy in your ear.
You don't want the guy next to you.
But I've listened to him, and I was able to listen to him and learn stuff from him. Is my point, regardless of what he's done. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes, the fact that he hates you and he wants burn, nigga.
Well, we got to be honest here. He's not gonna. So you're not gonna sit next to you and be like, "Let's be friends."
I think he'd have a conversation. Let's be friends. I don't know. I'm not here trying to defend David Duke. That's not my purpose. I was just saying that people should have a willingness to try to make this shit work with Trump because it's beneficial to all of us for it to work.
I think what people forget about publicity, any publicity is good publicity. Even if it's bad, it's still good publicity because it spreads. You know how things spread on the internet? Like wildfire.
And that's what Trump took advantage of. That
Trump so, for instance, when they said he was going around grabbing pussies and grabbing that girl's pussy, that people like get on his defense even more.
They didn't give a fuck. It just made it hurt him a little bit, but not really.
The president after that. Come on.
I'm just saying. They were desperate to fight.
For example, if people has lost become president for way less. Like that one guy who said, "Yeah."
I know.
They cut him out. They said, "Fuck this guy." Yeah. This guy grabbed legit. Think about grabbing a pussy.
Trump said it. He's like, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and nobody would care.
Exactly. It's like, what? It's like, come on. That's. I can't even speak because of how angry I am. It's like,
you're angry because of it?
People are ridiculous.
That's true. That's true.
Ridiculous.
They are.
It was like, that's why they deserve Trump as a president.
They do.
You want Trump? You want to vote for Trump? There you go. You got Trump. Congratulations, America. You have all these other countries that are progressing faster in education and language, and you guys want to spend so much damn money on weapons to police the world that don't give a fuck about you.
Oh, they give a fuck about us. They give a fuck about us in the sense that they're tired of us doing exactly what you just said. Under the guise of bringing freedom and liberty to these places when it's really, we want your resources and we want to put people in power that are friendly to the United States. That's what's really going on. And also the people that are in the military, they're seeing it too. And they're tired of being puppets and manipulated. I remember when I was young, people talked about, go to the military. And I'm like, I can't go to the military and put my life on the line for something I don't believe in. I can't do that. I have to know why I'm there fighting.
I would admit growing up, I was manipulated into going to the military. They were like, I was. They was like, you're a boy. Well, you blah blah blah. That's like all the Call of Duty. I'm not blaming Call of Duty, but after playing a couple games Call of Duty, I'm like, wow, this looks like something I can do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even. This is. I'm 20. I'm 22 years old, right? I've had a fair share of Call of Duty games, and I know the fact that like. Every time I say I want to play Call of Duty, every time I got done playing a good game of Call of Duty and I felt good about it, I'm like, I want to join the military. I know other people feel that way because I felt that way. We're from two different generations, I believe, right?
Yes.
So, did you ever feel that way playing any kind of shooter game?
I don't play shooters, but I get your point.
Yeah. It makes you want to like.
Well, let me tell you, I know some people that have been in the military, and it's terrible. It's horrifying. It's watching your friends die.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't just respawn. You know what I mean? I know you know that, but yes. I think people they lose an appreciation for life when it comes to video games. Yeah. So it's like they think it's it ain't like that. It's mentally damaging. It's just horrible, and it's long. It's a lifetime of potential mental torment almost.
Yeah. You become best friends with Sally, and
then this is the part I really can't stand. When they get back here and they're not taken care of after all that fucking shit and all the money that's being made off of them, I can't listen. I'm getting listen. I might have to pause this shit because I'm getting mad thinking about this. And these motherfucking senators have the audacity to vote against it. It's like these guys go there, they leave their families, and they put their lives on the fucking line, and you have the nerve to have them come back here and be on the street or wait for months to get treatment and not worry about money and housing and all. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Don't get me fucking started. I can't. There's a limit to because this shit is gonna really start making me think about how fucked up our system is, and it's like, I got pulled over for a ticket yesterday. Right now, I did break the law. That did happen. I think I'm not even sure, but the point being that when I go into court, they're gonna offer me these changes they're gonna offer me to lower it and all this kind of stuff, or take less points and all this kind of shit. That leads me to believe this is just bullshit.
Yeah.
The law should be the law. Should be the law. If I did this should be the what I got to pay or whatever. Yeah. Not I lower it to a stop sign, pay this, or you can keep more points if you pay more money.
Yeah, that's really. I hate
listen. The last time I was in court, I almost lost my fucking temper because it made me start thinking. I've seen all these fucking people in there who don't have the money to pay for this shit. They're in there and they're sheeping along. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor, and all this fucking. I'm like, fuck you, fuck this. I'm in there about to explode, and it's like. People don't realize that this is the same exact stuff that the Nazis did in terms of you're just following orders and just doing your job. Yeah. You get that mentality, you just keep going along with the fucking shit that's fucking you up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm better than anybody or I'm on some higher wavelength of thinking and I'm out there fighting the good fight because I understand that it takes more than just some Black Lives Matter movement or some group. It takes an effort from everybody. I was at McDonald's the other day, and they put in the kiosks there where to take away people's jobs.
Yeah.
So it's like it just reminded me that people can stop that shit from happening by not buying fucking McDonald's.
Yes.
And so it's like people are so stupid and so focused in individual survival. And that they don't realize how much fucking power they have. It's so annoying. I'm getting really mad about that military shit. Because like the thought that they would sit their fucking asses on Capitol Hill and vote against anything that would benefit a veteran is absolutely sickening to me.
I agree. Very.
When you talk about a comparison from Trump and Hillary represents what's been done before in the past. She represents no changes to the shit that's been fucking us over for many years. That's what she represents, right? Now, remember, I did say earlier that Trump, and I don't have faith in any of it, but because all parties turned against Trump, that made me think there's a chance that there might be some change that might happen with Trump. There might be. Mm-hmm. However slight that may be. So seeing how fucked up the system is, I'm going to take that chance. Go to the military. Fuck you. Fighting a war that you're the reasons why you're there. And people talk about hating Muslims and hating ISIS and all that kind of shit, right? And it's like, when I was younger, I used to think about why these other people hate us so much. And I used to, if it's the religious reasons, then let God judge us. Why do they gotta be, attacking us and all this kind of stuff? But then I come to find out, we don't went these fucking people's countries and fuck them up.
Fuck their women.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if somebody came in your house and blew your fucking family up, you might want to blow their shit up too.
Yeah, there's no way around it. That's how you're gonna feel.
And don't try to feed me this, we're trying to spread democracy bullshit. You just want their fucking resources and you want to keep this fucked up system that we got going. You want to keep this shit going so you all, the powers that be, benefit from the shit. How did this happen? Why did you bring that? I don't want to, we got to calm down.
We?
The thought of
this is a team effort.
I'm just, sometimes it's just I don't want to be on here because I just.
No, ranting is good.
I don't want to be out here acting crazy.
Yesterday
Get the fuck! My name. I told you we changed the name.
Oh, work in progress. Oh yeah.
My name is a work in progress. Because I don't know what the fuck I want to call my stage name is going to be yet. But yeah,
Ranty Joe.
Ranty Joe. I don't rant. I just something.
You should go on rant more. That was good. I feel like
I know because people are this guy's just put on. I'm not putting on no fucking show. I don't give a fuck.
It's not a show. This is good. I listened to that and I understood exactly. Even though people are going to listen more when you yell, regardless.
Oh my god! I know it made me think about. Everybody wants to. No, don't do it. Calm down.
What the fuck you about to
No, because it's just okay. So everybody's up in arms about the presidency, right? Everybody. Oh, Trump, Hillary, blah 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 blah. First of all, one fucking person's not gonna wave a magic wand and fix all your fucking problems. That's number one. But everybody's up in arms and not my president and protesting and fighting and all this fucking bullshit about the presidency, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the fucking Senate and the House. The ones that are there for many, many years fucking you over. And you guys don't pay attention to that shit at all.
They vote themselves in every...
Now they have the House... They have a Republican in the House. They got it all now with Trump as president. They're going to get the fucking... The judges are going to be voted in by them now, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you dumbass... Oh, my God. If you want to call yourself playing the game and acting like this is a real thing, that democracy's real in this country, then fucking play the game right!
Savage.
Get in there and fucking vote these goddamn senators out. They're the ones that are making these fucking decisions, like the ones that are fucking over the veterans. They're the ones doing that shit and keep making these fucking decisions that are fucking you over and they stay in office. We should, you know what, I need to calm down.
Oh, you think?
No, I think we might come back a little bit later today. This is kind of, my blood pressure's a little bit, and it's funny because I actually want to have somebody who has a more and almost an opposite view to the way I think, so that we can kind of bounce off each other, but I don't want to do what I just did to that, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to, no, I don't want to be. I guess I could just put a disclaimer in the beginning and be like, if I become passionate about a subject, don't take it personally. Don't go and don't start crying and say I need a safe space, because then I'm gonna throw up.
In her face or his face?
No, I'm not literally. It's figured like it's. Oh, you're being too loud. I need to go to my safe space. Don't get me started on the social justice warrior crap. I'm really can't.
What about pronouns?
So I'm a gay man, right? No, I'm not. We'll
go finish now.
So how the fuck did how do we survive this long? Okay, so the argument's going to be like, well, the idea is to get it in the forefront and have it be accepted by everybody, right? So it's like, I've seen a fucking list of the pronouns.
Oh, there's a list?
Oh my God. This is basically what you would consider versions of genders. Not male, female.
Not genders, but versions of genders?
It was a long list of... I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm like, what is all this? What the fuck is going on? Are we in this fucking Twilight Zone? Is it serious? Like...
I swear Rockcopter have to be like...
what is it?
The attack helicopter, it literally has to be on that gender thing, because everyone says they're an attack helicopter.
What the fuck are you talking about?
One of the jokes on that gender list is I'm an attack helicopter.
Well, I try to identify as a goat so I can get my own bathroom. That's what I've been going for, but nobody's buying it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm like, you can't. I can't be a goat. If you identify as whatever the fuck you want to identify as, why can't I be a goat? And I want my own fucking bathroom too.
I feel like our generation, not even our generation, I feel like everyone is too sensitive.
I do, and I need to try to understand where that's coming from. Like because it wasn't people weren't as sensitive. Like I don't want to be one of these guys that poo-poos the generation below me, because that just happens every generation.
Here's what I gotta say. For coming from a straight man, all right, I think it's mostly because when people are trying to accept something. For instance, I had to accept gay people into this community. I had a gay march a couple of years ago, and it's like
the gay march.
they had a gay acceptance march.
What are you talking about? The gay acceptance march?
Yeah, they had like a big march in Washington, and it was like they said they released a statistic like 40-something% of Americans are gay or whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we're gay. Cool. You have your own flag. Cool. Now let's go back to our lives. I feel like I feel like you're accepted now. I feel like there should be no laws. Hold on. I feel like there should be no laws against gay people now. But I think you trying your best to stand out is only going to make people hate you more.
I agree with that. There's no need to shove it down people's throats.
Yeah,
what you do behind closed doors.
When we come to our country, right? and they're religious.
I got a perfect example for you.
But yeah, but when it comes to our country and they're religious, they keep their views in their house, where people don't see how they live, how they keep their they take their shoes off in their house. They bow, they pray to their food. But when they come out, they go out citizens. As long as that person doesn't reflect their views on someone else, that person should be okay. No one cares. You know what I mean? No one's angry. But once that gay person goes out there and says, "Look, you don't have a bathroom for me. I identify as a fucking attack helicopter." I'm angry. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, you're in public. You don't have control over everything. You control what you own. I feel like that it's a little out of control.
You just spit on my knee. You wipe that off. Okay. It is out of control. You know, there's, and that's one of the reasons why people got behind Trump too, because the political correct. Ah! You burned my knee with the heater, you moron!
Capitalism.
Anyway, so you know, so this idea of the political correctness, it's been taken too far. You can be respectful, but it's like you can't even make a joke anymore. I remember somebody had a meme that had Hillary Clinton smiling and dancing when she won the Democratic, but she was on a dancer's body. They put her head on a dancer's body. She was dancing and all that kind of stuff, and she was dressed a little like dancers sometimes. Not necessarily. This is misogynistic and. I'm like, it's a fucking joke. Oh my god. And this was a man saying it, a straight male. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is this for real? I'm like, I don't care. This is funny. You can get mad at me all you want. I don't care. It's just funny.
It's like, if you don't care, if it's not affecting you physically, like you can have an opinion, yeah.
Oh, but the
you
thing
can
about
have
it,
an opinion, but
the thing about it,
I think the problem is too many people have opinions now. I think that's the real problem.
Well, everybody should be allowed to have an opinion. It's just how they express that opinion.
They go out their way. You should kill yourself because I disagree with you. That's extreme. Another extreme is, I don't agree with this because of this, and that, and I'm gonna get a protest over this one picture. That's another extreme. Don't you agree? Working in progress.
Working in progress. Working in progress.
I felt like I couldn't say yesterday was joke was better than today. So
oh my god, you're not gonna let that. The fuck. All right, I think we're
done.
Thank you for listening. We're gonna try to crank these things out.
I'm Mr. E, by the way. That's my name.
And I'm a work in progress. We will figure it out when we are able to figure it out.
Cue the outro right here. Any last words?
The outro. Thank you for listening. We'll eventually be able to tell you to tune in at another time, but until we figure that out, we're going to go with where this is a work in progress.
Bub
or Shaga TC Baluki.
Mala!
Bye.
Bye. Hit that big X, hit that big stop button. That big stop button.